I looked down, and my leg was gone. A brutal shark attack and one woman's fight to survive the impossible. The sun was shining. The water was calm. 10 seconds later, I was floating in a pool of my own blood. Chapter 1. The Morning That Changed Everything. Emily Carter, 26, was living the dream. Born and raised near Santa Cruz, California, the ocean had always been her second home. After graduating from university, she took time off to travel, chasing waves, surfing cultures, and salty freedom. By the time she landed in Byron Bay, Australia, she'd already surfed in Bali, Hawaii, and Costa Rica. But something about Australia, its wildness, its raw edges, drew her in. That morning was perfect. Light breeze, no crowds, crystal clear water. I grabbed my board, walked down barefoot, and just smiled. It was one of those mornings where everything felt peaceful. Emily didn't plan on surfing that day. The waves were too small. She just wanted a relaxing swim, solo, quiet, and still. She left her board on the beach, waded in waist deep, then dove. Chapter 2. A Shadow. Beneath the surface. She floated on her back, eyes closed. The sun warmed her face. Her heartbeat slowed. The world was silent, just the creak of the sea, the hiss of her breath. For a moment, she felt truly disconnected from everything. Then she felt something. Not pain, not even contact, just a presence. It was like the water changed temperature, like something massive had moved under me. I opened my eyes and turned, and that's when I saw the shadow. It came from below, fast. A great white shark, at least 3.5 meters long, launched upward. In a single explosive motion, it latched onto her right leg, just below the knee. Chapter 3. The Bite. I didn't feel the teeth at first. I felt pressure, insane, crushing pressure. Then I felt the warmth. And then the pain came like fire. The shark bit deep and twisted. Her flesh tore, tendons snapped, bones shattered. The water around her turned red within seconds. She screamed underwater, but only bubbles came. She kicked wildly, the pain flooding her system like electricity. When I surfaced, I looked down, and my leg, most of it, was gone. Just blood, just meat. I didn't recognize my own body. Chapter 4. The Escape. The shark didn't return. Why? No one knows. Some believe it misjudged her size. Others say the bite and release was exploratory, a common shark behavior. Either way, Emily was alive. For now. But she was bleeding fast. Her leg hung in ribbons. The nearest person was a surfer at least 200 meters away, and the shoreline looked impossibly far. I remember thinking, if I stop now, if I slow down, I die here. So I started swimming, one leg, one arm, just move. She swam in a fog of blood, every stroke weaker than the last. Her vision blurred. She coughed. Salt burned her lungs. A man on a surfboard saw her, saw the blood. He paddled toward her at full speed. He didn't say a word, just grabbed me, threw me onto his board, and started paddling. I remember his eyes, pure focus. He knew I was slipping away. Chapter 5. On the Beach. When they reached the shore, Emily collapsed. Her pulse was weak, the sand soaked in her blood. Someone screamed. A tourist threw off his belt and used it as a tourniquet. Emergency services arrived within 11 minutes, and not a second too soon. Emily had lost over 3 liters of blood. Her leg was amputated mid-thigh in emergency surgery. She was in a coma for 36 hours. When she woke up, her mother was beside her. So was her new reality. I didn't cry. I just stared at where my leg used to be and thought, okay, I'm still here. Let's start from that. Chapter 6. The climb back recovery was brutal. Skin grafts, muscle rehabilitation, phantom pain, learning to walk again. But Emily was stronger than anyone imagined. She refused to be a victim. 6 months after the attack, she took her first steps on a titanium prosthetic. A year later, she was back on a surfboard. People asked if I was scared. Of course I was. But fear doesn't get to decide who you are. Today, Emily is a professional parasurfer. She travels the world speaking about resilience, trauma, and wild survival. She even returned to Byron Bay, not as a victim, but as a survivor. Tattooed across her thigh near the scar are the words, "Still standing." Final thoughts. The shark wasn't evil. It didn't hate me. I was in its home. I looked like food. It did what it does, and I did what humans do. I fought. Survival is messy. It's bloody. It's painful. But it's also proof that even in the jaws of nature, the human spirit can bite back.